Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Musings and Music Show. I've stopped counting what edition this is, so I'm not keeping track because I'm just enjoying having guests with me, especially I'm not having to ramble by myself. This is MBIWAN MONJIMBO coming to you on Vosaworld Radio, and I have a guest with me that I'm so eager to have here from my whole teacher future career point of view. I haven't met her in person before, but I was introduced to her just on WhatsApp and everything, and I saw what she does and said I had to get her to come on here and talk to our children, talk to our parents about how to best manage things, especially for immigrant parents and second generation, even third generation immigrant children or students. We need to know, we're going to learn a lot from her today. So if she doesn't mind, she's going to go ahead and introduce herself, let us know her name, and give us a brief background about what she does. Go on.
Thank you for that soft introduction. Hi, all of the listeners, all of the family of this radio program. My name is PEMBE Besingi. I'm an attorney licensed in New York since 2016, and I am owner and creator of the Student to Attorney Plan, which involves online courses and one-on-one coaching to help guide high school, college, and law school students into being an attorney. It's something I'm very passionate about, particularly for these communities, because I'm a first-generation American myself, and I had to navigate the landscape of becoming an attorney, largely led by myself. There were a lot of mentors that stepped in to guide me and provide those secrets that I'm now trying to impart on the next generation. And I know that but for, yes, my hard work and God, of course, but for their willingness to look behind and bring me along with them, bring me along after them, I would not have been able to achieve the things that I have.
So I think you froze for a minute. Let's see there. I'm going to go ahead and pause and make sure that I can get you to come on back. I think you froze for a tiny second, but you're back right there.
Yes.
You were just at the point where you were actually giving, recognizing the people who helped you get to where you are today, that were it not for them, you wouldn't be where you are today. And that's something I'm going to just jump in and applaud. The people who give back, whether you had the fortune or not, because there's a people who say, oh, nobody helped me. Why should I turn out? Why should I help anybody else? Even though there's really, if you think about it, there's really no such person who's a self-made man or self-made woman that nobody helped. But there's some who say, well, I struggled. Let the others come and struggle along to they'll find their way. As opposed to the quintessential mentor who says, my goodness, it was tough for me. If you will help me, I don't want to let that same toughness, difficulty repeat itself for somebody else. Let me go out there and help them. So I want to applaud you for that, because you're going to make the path smoother for somebody else who comes after you. Because what I've noticed, and that's where I'm going, my experience as a high school teacher, been doing that from maybe before you were born. You see students who get there to their seniors or juniors, and they still have no clue what it is that they want to do. And by the time, or some of them do have a clue what they'd like to do, but have no clue what they need to do to get there. So what has your experience been with the people that you mentor, that you help? Are they the kind that come to you dead set on what they want to do already, or you're the kind of one that has to lead them and guide them along?
So that's a great question. I think it's more of the former than the latter. I think they say like attracts like, and I'm someone that tends to take the initiative, and I tend to attract those similar personality types to work with me, either formally or informally. So the fair number of students that I've assisted, and actually I've been able to help people that are more advanced in their careers than me. I think I just have a gift for seeing where people are and understanding where they're trying to go and helping them piece those two spaces together. But typically the types of students that I attract are students that know they want to be attorneys and know where they're trying to go. They just don't know how to get there, because become an attorney is pretty straightforward when you think about it. Generally, graduate high school, graduate college, graduate law school, take and pass the bar in the jurisdiction that you want to attend. So that's straightforward, and this information is available for all who want it. But it's just learning the timing and the planning and the standardized tests that you have to take along the way. Okay, how are you going to study for that? When should you start studying for that? Having to do internships as a high school, which a lot of people don't know you can do that as a high school student. You don't have to wait till college, but having to do internships as a high school, college, and law school student, where do you look? How do you tie in the things you're interested in into your path to ensure that you don't get burnt out or discouraged along the way, but you can constantly see where you're trying to get and how you can go about getting there. Even helping people just get comfortable with speaking to attorneys. If they've never interacted with an attorney before, most people haven't, unless you have a situation that requires an attorney. So just getting comfortable being in those same spaces, learning the language that is necessary, just those little finesse things, those soft skills that are just not readily available, or if they are available, they require a lot of research to really understand. I just want to pull those pieces together and just serve it on a platter, like you said, and make things smoother for the students that I help.
All right, let's start from the basics with the dumb questions, which I call them dumb because I myself fall in that category. There's some people who don't quite know. Judge, attorney, lawyer, legal assistant, and they know that they're all to do with the law somewhere there. Which one is which? So we just want to know about, I want to be like the Judge Judy on TV or Judge Susan. Which one is which? So people can kind of know, people who are listening can kind of know which one is what does each one entail, what's the difference?
Yeah, so just off of the titles that you've mentioned. So to become a lawyer, a lot of people use lawyer and attorney interchangeably, but there are distinctions. Some jurisdictions, meaning areas in which you practice, like states, let's say a jurisdiction is a state. Some states do make it a difference. So a lawyer is someone who has legal by way of a legal degree, let's say generally. There are nuances to everything, but somebody who has gone to law school and graduated, we'll call that a lawyer. Somebody who has now gone that legal education, but now also passed a bar and passed to now be allowed to practice as an attorney, right? As the person who would, for example, go to court and represent a client. That's someone who has a legal education, but has also taken the bar, passed, and been sworn in. So many steps there. You have the education, you take and pass the bar, and then you're sworn into the jurisdiction. Say I'm sworn into the jurisdiction of New York, for example. That gives me the ability to practice only in New York. If I wanted to go somewhere else, there are other requirements that are necessary, right? So a judge, there are different ways to become a judge, but judges are typically people who are attorneys. So once you become an attorney, if you want to be a judge, say a state judge, federal judge, there are many administrative law judge, but some judges are appointed. So like the Supreme Court judges are appointed by the president, right? Or a judge, some judges, like a state judge, for example, could be elected into that judgeship. And there are different ramifications of how judges get their position, but judges are going to be people who are attorneys. Typically first, they practice, and then they become a judge. When you start talking about legal professionals that are more so in the staff category, which are people who do not have a JD, which is the Juris Doctorate, the degree you get after your 3 years or more of law school. Those are people who maybe studied law or they studied subjects ancillary to the law or related to the law in undergrad or maybe a 2-year college situation. That's where you become, that's where you typically get like someone becoming a paralegal, who is someone who assists the attorneys, a legal secretary, also someone who assists the attorneys. And there are nuances for each of those professions as well. And truthfully, a lot of times in law firms, the paralegals that have been there for years and years may even know more law than the attorneys that come in, right?
That's how it is with most professions. You see what we used to call midwives in Cameroon?
Yes.
The nurses will be done midwifery. So that's the doctor is there stumped saying he's going to do it. The midwife says, I know how to push this belly around and get this baby to be born naturally, and not the experience has given them an edge that is pretty much enviable, that you marvel at, which that's experience, being on the job, seeing how things work and getting a hang of it, which you may not necessarily get in the classroom. That kind of way, getting degrees, yes.
Exactly. And some law firms would be hard pressed to lose a paralegal before they lose a more junior associate. They would be more ready to let that associate go than a paralegal. So the biggest difference is just the level of education, the type of education, and then particularly to call yourself an attorney is having taken and passed the bar and then sworn into that jurisdiction where you intend to practice. So those are the main differences.
You've explained them well.
Okay.
You've explained them really well. I don't even dare now ask, because even the titles, is it your honor? Is it your worship? My Lord, who? I'm sitting there going, I don't even know what to call who. In Cameroon, there's magistrates and things. There's levels which actually takes some time to study to do the right thing and coupled by the right. And do they differ from country to country and legal system to legal system, don't they? Because I know that's where we even had issues in our country of origin in Cameroon, but there's the French system and then there's the English system, and there's a little difference. Some are doing the wig thing. Not doing,
and since I would think that the majority of your audience are Cameroonians, I think it would be helpful for me to go a bit into that for those that may not understand. So the issue in Cameroon is that Cameroon is split into the British system and the French system. So the British system is common law based in its legal practice, and the French system is civil law based in its legal practice. So beyond the language differences that cause a bit of a something going on, I'm trying to think of the right political word there. Apart from the language barriers that cause rift and issue, the common law system, the British system, the English system is focused on judge-made law. So as a case comes up and is decided, it's then, that case, the ruling of that case, the decision of that case now informs laws that move forward. And as cases of the same type get decided, that builds on the law that governs the land. Whereas the civil law side, the French side, is more statute-based laws, where in the US, it would be the legislative branch will write laws that are the law of the land, and that's how they get exactly. So now the issue in Cameroon is you're not only talking about language divide, you're talking about divides in the way the law is made, and therefore divides in the way it's carried out. It's it's a lot of confusion there. So different countries have different ways in which they do it. I don't believe Cameroon is the only country that has different multiple systems in place, but it does make things very complicated and interesting, to say the least.
And just like here, sometimes you find certain states, because this is a federal, it's a federation. You find certain laws that apply somewhere that don't apply here, and you have to be extradited to go to someplace else to go and actually face the law there. It can be a complicated thing, just even in general from country to country. You have somebody being extradited and they're fighting it because they know that if they go over there, for example, the death sentence, they have the death. And some other places where we don't do we don't sentence anybody to death. So they're trying to run away to somewhere. That's something. So now we're going to have people listening to this, and they're wondering, okay, here, because you know how we still, no matter how you look at it, how you slice a potato or cocoyam, we still have professions that people still look up to and really respect a lot. And the average person says, I want my child or niece or nephew to be a doctor. Next thing, a lawyer, that kind of a thing. There's some parents sitting there and they have this child. Say, let's peel back as far as beginning of high school. What should they want that child to be looking at? What should that it's never too early, because it can be kind of late, because I know in this country, yes, you can go in at no matter what age, get a degree and you're good to go, but we all know the sooner you start, the better.
Yeah.
So your child is saying there that they'd like to be, they've seen George Mathis, they've seen who, they're watching All Rise on show, CS, all those shows that have the legal profession in there, and they keep telling their parents that's what they want to do. Watch the mom and dad who's watching them in high school, try to encourage them to take what kind of courses. How would you orient them in your opinion?
The first thing that I would do, again, being first gen and being a child of someone who, of course, you know, they want their children to succeed. The first thing I would want to know is whether that child truly wants to be an attorney and it's not just a parent trying to move them along. I think my parents lucked out in that I always knew I wanted to be an attorney. So that was easy enough.
I think
about the next step of being an attorney, which would be college. Oh, no problem. I said the first thing that I would have.
It's happening again. I'm not too sure what's going on here. Why we're having these little bits of
frozen
options. You may have to go over that again, because you're going to say the first thing and you cut right there again. So if you don't mind, go back over the first thing that you would say would be.
Yes, the first thing that I would say would be, and please stop me if at any time I freeze again, but I would encourage the parents and the students to look at the next step of the journey, because in order to know what you have to do now, you need to understand where you're going, right? So the next step of your journey from high school, if you're interested in becoming an attorney, is college. So the child doesn't need to know what college they want to go to. They just need to understand that college is the next step. So just pick a college, a good college, go on their admissions page and see the requirements, right? And even if the child, this is their first year of high school, see the requirements and write them down. Then go to your high school's page and see the requirements for graduation, because to get to the next step, you need to graduate, and write those down. This is just a very practical way to understand what is coming next so that you can prepare for it, right? That's just the first basic step.
Because I cannot tell you how many students sit there and somehow it's in the 11th grade or sometimes in the 12th grade as a senior that they're realizing I need to take this course to graduate. I need to take this course, and then they're in a panic now, and struggling to come and take whatever course. And sometimes it's even an elective that they need. Exactly. And they're trying to take PE, trying to do a foreign language, because they realize, they've looked at the things, the number of credits. You're very right. Stand at the very beginning. That's what guidance counselors are there for. Go see them. Tell you you're on track. So you don't go, oops, oh my goodness, when you're a senior and realize you're not taking a whole bunch of courses you needed. So that's a solid one. We're going to go on to point number 2. Yeah,
that's what I'll even add. This is something I stress in my being where you're going, so that you can figure out what you need to do here. And and so once you know and understand what you need to do to leave high school and go into college, make sure you plan out your courses. High school is the first time. The reason why I start preparation in high school is because high school is the first time where you get to choose your own courses and you start balancing a lot of different responsibilities, right? So once you know what classes you have to take, plot them out on a makeshift calendar for your 4 years. Plot them out when you're going to take what, and then go in and fill in the electives. And I'm always sure to caution students that just because you want to be an attorney doesn't mean you have to take every single debate class and every single political science class. You can be an attorney with an interest in many different things. So go through and pick courses that actually interest you, but you want to make sure that you pick courses that force you to read, write, and analyze, because that's what you're going to do as an attorney the majority of the time. Pick courses that force you to read, write, and analyze. If you want to do debate, you can sign up for debate classes. If you want to do robotics, sign up for robotics classes. There are attorneys that specialize in patent law and robotics. You can definitely do that, but get down the courses you need to graduate, the courses you need to go to college, and then choose elective courses of interest to you, because when you're interested, you're going to do well in the class because you'll be engaged. But make sure but make sure you pick courses that force you and teach you and mold you into somebody that can read, write, and analyze. Those are the biggest things. Yeah.
Read, write, analyze. And unfortunately, the more I see of the students that are coming through our hands now, don't like to read, just TikTok, watching videos and everything. That's just to sit down there, don't like to read. Analyze, yeah, sometimes you're amazed. I'm like, are you for real? You know, something as simple as, I'm telling you, basic as I teach French. So you're sitting there and it says Pierre. Then there's a blank in the middle and then it's in banane. And I'm saying, what verb needs to go in the middle right there? And they're looking, staring right at you. And I'm going, is it that you don't know? So I start analyzing one by one and saying, is it that you don't know what Pierre is? He said, no, I know, it's a name. So you don't know what une banane is? Look at the spelling of it, the sound of it, that's a banana. What do you think? Is it, it cannot be Pierre is listening a banana, Pierre is dancing a banana. Pierre has to be eating this banana. I'm telling you, sometimes I'm like, I cut my hair short for a reason, because I don't want to have to pull it. I don't know. It amazes me. And then you ask them, because there's a section in the program for learning different professions and what you'd like to be. And then you ask them, what you want to be in the future? And they're saying, lawyer, attorney. And I'm going, hey, in that case, you cannot afford to just sit there and let things go over your head this way. You can do this. Focus on saying, you get your brain warmed up into critical thinking skills that you need to, as you're saying, to analyze. So I hope they're listening. You can't just zombie your way through that kind of career. That's not the kind of one you can just sit down there, kind of drift on by. When somebody's life is going to be in the balance and you are the one supposed to argue for them and save them from the guillotine to go back that far. You cannot afford to just sit there and be a lousy. That's not the kind of job you can just sail on by. So I'm glad I hope they're listening. Parents are listening to urge them. Don't make them go through the summer and only go to Disney World, only go to those, which is good too for recreation. Get them interested in books early. Get them interested in books early. You go to many homes, they don't have a single book. I know that now Kindle, now it's all kinds of electronic things, but sometimes it's good for the child to actually hold that book in their hand at the beginning when they're young and get used to flipping pages, turning and actually reading. So I'm glad you mentioned that part. So you're going to go on to point number 3, because you had point number 2. What would number 3 be as for advice?
Right. So after you know where you're going and you choose classes that make sense, the third thing is really the easiest part. Just follow through. Just follow through.
Like Nike says, just do it.
Just do it. Just do it. Because for some people, I know I'm someone that I truly enjoy planning. And it's just following those steps after the planning can be, it sounds easy, but it can be the difficult part because it's day to day, day in and day out. And the good thing is once you've planned, the difficult mental work is done and it's just following through. You said you were going to take this class, take that class. You said you were going to study. You said you were going to take this standardized test, take it. Take those steps necessary to get you along. And they will. The structures are so firmly in place, for better or worse, that if you just set yourself in motion, inertia will just take you. You will just continue to go.
Cruise control. You just do the things. Like if you said, you're going to have to take you said the standardized test. What kind of standardized tests do they take? Do they have to take? And when?
So when you're in high school, some but not all colleges, and some colleges have made it optional, which I advise against keeping it optional in your head. But in high school,
not the time for you to
college admissions tests, the PSAT.
Yes, say that over again because you froze right when you were trying to see what test they should take. So you're talking about the PSATs.
In high school, you take the PSAT, which is a practice test for the standardized test, but it also gets you, I think it lets you know what. It also gets you qualified for national merit scholarships in college, right? So you take the SAT and the ACT, which are the college admissions tests. You also, and then once you get to college, you take the law school admissions test, which is the test you take for admissions into law school. Some law schools now accept the GRE, which is more so for general graduate admission. And then once you're in law school, you have to take the MPRE, which I believe is, it tests your ethics responsibilities, the MPRE does, and then you have to take the bar of the jurisdiction that you're
interested in practicing in. Yeah. You have to take the bar for the jurisdiction. I mean, that way where you plan to practice, right?
Correct. So there are a lot of standardized tests along the way. So, and standardized testing is very different than your course testing. You need to not only master the subject matter, but it's important that you master how to take a standardized test, and they're timed. So it's important that you make sure you master how to take a timed test that requires that you sit still for an extended period of time. So the sooner you get into the rhythm of doing all of this, the easier and better for you.
Correct, because that's why people are asked to start taking it a little earlier and take it several times. You see, for us immigrant parents and immigrant setting kind of people who are used to taking the GCE, bam, it's taken that one time when you're in Form 5, when you're in the upper 6, that's it. You wait for the results. They used to read them on the radio way back when. But here now, that's not the same kind of thing. You start taking them. You can take them several times a year. Even. SATs, some of us have to go proctor those exams. Saturday morning, they say the building is closed to everybody else because they're testing the SATs. And now it turns out that I'm yet to see one person for whom that is not true. Each time they take the test, they do better the next time around. And that is the reason is what you just said there. You get used to how to take the test.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's a matter of you're sitting down there applying too much time to one question. Time is the time, as you said. And they're done. It's not that you are a dumb person, it's that you never got to finish the test at all because it goes pretty fast. So the next time around, you time yourself better, you get a better score. Next time you come around, you do, and that's how it works, which I'm at pains to explain to my fellow immigrant parents. That is how it works. You ask the child, have you taken the SATs yet? No. What grade are you in? 12th grade. Have that many opportunities left to take it more than one. So what that score you got there is not the best of scores, whereas you could have started taking it earlier. And you still have some, believe it or not, in the school where I teach, where they actually offer the school or the school system pays for them to take this PSATs, and they don't show up to take them. They don't show up to take them for free.
Unfortunate.
But now that's what I'm hoping the parents now are listening and should have an ear out there for what are those things going to be. Come out that house and say, I'm going to go drop you. You didn't take that test. You know, it's good for them on their pathway to. Are you on there? Can you hear me still? Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So if they've done all these things together, and you said the last piece of advice you gave was, okay, now that you did the plan and everything, just do it, put it into motion and do it. So now they've heard you say all these things, but there's some people just like coaching. So people even actually need coaching, and I know you offer these sessions where they can help you actually coach them. So tell us about that. So somebody how would they contact you? And if they contact you and register, what can they expect? Please go ahead and let us know about this.
Yeah, so I do offer currently the high school course, which gives the students just a general background of basically what I've discussed here, just more in depth. And along with the course, you get to ask me as many questions as you want during the time that the course is available to you, which is 30 days. I used to only offer 3 questions because I think shortening the number of questions forces you to be more critical in the questions that you ask. But I realized that students need a little bit more, like you said, guidance, especially at the high school level. I'm willing we'll have college and law school courses available later this year. But then I also do offer one-on-one coaching, because as much as some people do like self-directed learning, like with a course that's all online, some people need a little bit more hand-holding or have more direct, poignant questions that they just want answered. So if you are interested in that, that is something that is available. All of these resources are available on my website, which is thestudenttoattorneyplan.com, spelled just the way the words are, thestudenttoattorneyplan.com. If you choose the coaching section, we can cover whatever it is you want to cover. You can lead the session, or I am prepared to lead the session, because I've been through this process of becoming an attorney before, and I've had the opportunity to help a variety of students go through this process as well. I can come ready to lead you and let you know, okay, where are you right now? Based on where you tell me you are, we can craft a plan for you, leading to success in the next step or through your entire journey. That's something that I'm ready and available to help you with as well. I try to be very understanding and holistic in the way that I guide my students, because as much as you do want to become an attorney, you don't want to become an attorney and that's all you are. So it's important that you do it in a very balanced and holistic way. The practice of law can be very consuming, and we want to, the more balanced you are on your way there, the more balanced you will be when you get there, and therefore you'll be a happier attorney and be an attorney for much longer, which is what we want. We want more.
Yes.
Exactly. We want more diversity in the practice. And the only way that we get that is to get a critical mass of diverse people becoming attorneys, but also staying and thriving within the profession. So that's what I'm really focused on, a holistic person becoming an attorney. And so we can talk specifics like picking classes at the high school, college, or law school level. We can talk about specifics about finding internships and finding jobs and making necessary transitions, seeking out letters of recommendation, plotting out how you're going to study for these standardized tests, plotting out how you should approach your first day of law school, whatever the topic may be that you need assistance with. I hope it's coming through how excited I am.
I can tell. This is amazing, because I will just do. It's a joy to see somebody who does what they do out of passion, as opposed to where's my next paycheck. In other words, I'm not going to say anything till you actually say where's the money at. That's, you know. Or who's just doing it as just rote repetitions that are just senseless. Or you are going with the things that are rattling them off right there. I was even going to say, I think before we started doing this, I think pulled up. Let me see if I still have it showing there. I probably don't, because I had tried to go ahead and look up the website. I think all kinds of other irrelevant things sitting here on my thing, which if I'm about to share will not help. But you know what I can do? I can start here, go to where I had the link. I'm going to try that. And if I lose us, then too bad. I'm going to go to my WhatsApp thing where I had the link there, which I think you sent, or Alberta sent it to me, and see if I can find it and then just click on it.
Yeah.
Or let me see that here. I think I had it here, right here. You will tell me if I'm sharing my screen.
You are sharing your screen.
And you see it right there?
Yes.
So there you are, the boss lady right there. It says, hi, I'm Pembe. I'm your guide on the student to attorney plan. I'm a first generation American attorney who graduated.
Oh wait, you're showing your WhatsApp screen, not the web page.
Oh, not the thing. Oh, it doesn't show. I can see it there, but you know what I'm going to do? Still going to give it a try by pulling up the link, because I was reading it away. There, but you were not seeing it. I don't know why. I'm going to try to get the link from here, because I had opened the thing already. Here's the link to it right here. I've copied it, and then let's see now whether if I stop the share and just go where now? Maybe here. That would actually just kick us out of everything. But I'm going to give it a fair try and see if I have it already ready. Let's give it a try this time and see. Let me come back to you, or to us, and see if I even see it as something. I think this is it right here. Let's try again this time and see. Does it?
There we are. Yeah.
There you go. So I was running away and reading away, so delighted with myself. I didn't, I didn't realize you could only see the thing. So that's it right there. The page is asking you to go to. It says the student to attorney plan, which is a trademark thing right there. And so that's where you'd be going. And then it has at the top that says my products right there. And that's why I think you might have the coaching thing you're talking about there. I see it. Did it change to so it says coaching and courses?
Yes.
There you go. So you can see what it is that you'd be, it tells you right there. The fee is right there, $100. Trust me, with the amount of money you're going to be making down the road, you better go pay that $100. that will barely get you one of some of the shoes and things I see out there. This will be money well spent, and for this one, $200 is right there. A click away. You can see that my cursor is about to hit something and get it open there to go get yourself a solid guidance. Because for some of us, even when let me stop the share right there. For some of us, I'm the kind of person that I may not call it hand holding, but I like somebody whom I can sounding board kind of person. To just say, okay, I was thinking about doing this. What do you think about it? Am I doing the right thing here? So that's I like that. I like to have that reassurance that I'm going the right way, as opposed to going on doggedly and doing something and then somewhere down the road, they're like, oh no, you shouldn't have done. That's why I do that with even my own, no matter what the lesson is. I tell them, do the first 2, come and show them to me. Let me make sure you're on the right track, as opposed to you sitting there and doing all 10.
Exactly.
Totally wrong.
Exactly.
And then you brought them to me now, and I'm trying to unteach something that you've already sat and applied this little rule I gave you totally off. Yes. When you're done number 1, I would have said, oh, no, you know what's happening? You're not conjugating the verb right. You're not doing something right. And then I can point you. That's what a coach, that's what a mentor, that's what a counselor does. Help you along the way. Even if you're a self-starter, sometimes you can go off in the wrong direction, and that frustrates you. And now you begin to feel bad and discouraged. Because now you look like you feel like you're a failure. Whereas it just made an error that somebody could have pointed out. Exactly. And said that's the way to go. Exactly. So I'm really glad I'm glad, number 1, that you are doing this to start with. we need this. I ended up doing, I say this so many times, it shows up in so many of my chats I do. I explain that I ended up leaving the high school I was teaching at and going to the one that my own kids went to for that reason. I said to myself, I didn't go to school here. I don't quite know how it works. So I can be sitting there telling the kids, my kids, you just need to make an A, a GPA, and they're making a 5.2 GPA, but they're not taking any of the courses that are supposed to help them where they should be going. Not that, as you've explained already, it's not that they should not take any other courses, that they should stick only to the debate club and so because they want to be lawyers, but they don't want to also not do anything in that direction. I hope to go and be an attorney and stand there, and then you say you are shy of, oh, how are you going to do this shy thing if you cannot address even your own class? Stand out there and say something. When the stern prosecutor or whatever it is saying there, you're like, okay, oh, hey, your client is going to jail. You're just sitting down there, not doing any rebuttals or doing anything. So you can't, you have to get, and that kind of thing, even for somebody who is shy, naturally, maybe a little laid back, a little reserved, starts to get fixed if you start doing those things early on in high school, where there's a smaller, more comfortable group of people to face than when you do get to the court itself. That's when you plan on doing what then. So you get rid of those inhibitions that you have a little sooner if you know what you're supposed to do and practice. That's what I've seen.
That makes me, that's absolutely correct. It makes me think of 2 things. Is another reason why I think it's important to start in high school is, like I said, most people, unless they have reason to throughout their daily life, don't come across an attorney or don't find themselves in a courthouse or at a law firm or whatever the case may be. So if you start that process at the high school level, it gives you more time to be comfortable in those spaces. And so there's a lot of talk right now about imposter syndrome, like getting an opportunity and feeling like you don't belong there, or feeling like people are going to find out that you somehow snuck your way in here, but you don't really have the skills. That can be removed if from a younger age, you've already availed yourself of those environments. There's no reason that any of us should go into those spaces and feel like we don't belong there when we have the intelligence and the skills to be there. So the earlier you're able to get comfortable in that, the earlier you're able, the more likely you're able to be successful there. Make those mistakes, like you were saying, when the stakes are lower, so that by the time you get to the point where it truly, truly matters, you're already very comfortable there. It's easier to feel comfortable in a place that feels like home than a place that feels like, I don't know, an itchy sweater, like a brand new. Yeah. Yes. But the second thing also, to piggyback off what you said, is the sooner you start, the more you start to realize that there's such a varied amount of ways in which you can be an attorney. Not every attorney needs to be super extroverted, going to court and saying objection. No, I don't want students to get discouraged on their way there simply because all they know is what TV shows you. TV is going to show you the loudest, most dramatic form of anything.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Exactly. You can't handle the truth and all that stuff. And that's just not the only way to be an attorney. You can be very introverted, very in your head, which, believe it or not, that's more so what I am, and still be a very successful attorney. And sometimes even the student who is more quiet, by simply having the knowledge and the skills and the comfort, they're able to come out of that their shell to do their job, because they know that they're representing their client. So they have that gusto in that moment, and then they go back to being their calm self. But you have more of an opportunity to develop all of this in yourself when you start early. And a bonus thing is, speaking of the cost, one of the real things that made me want to start this endeavor is the fact that in going through my process of becoming an attorney, I've had exposure to a lot of, and just the networks I belong to, I've had exposure to a lot of individuals with a lot of wealth, and they get their children professional and career planning coaches, one-on-one, this type of advice and this type of guidance, and even more, starting at very early ages. But the cost for those people is like thousands of dollars an hour. And I recognize that the demographics that I think would benefit most from that type of assistance, they're not going to be able to afford it. So while I'm not able to, because it is cost prohibitive for me to offer similar services at the prices that I offer right now, what I can do is put the information that I do have into sources that can be readily available by multiple people at once by way of those courses. And then for those students that are able to or want that one-on-one attention, I can offer that as well, because you can definitely go find somebody to help.
Frozen a little bit there. You're talking about trying to explain. I think you still are frozen.
When they're applying for jobs, when they're applying for college and all of these things. So to the extent that I can help students with what I have at a price point that they are able to pay, that is what I want to do.
You're barely it's almost pro bono what it is that you're doing. I'm sure what you're asking for there is barely to keep the thing going, to pay for the website to even exist is its own cost. So you really are going there, and short of actually doing something where you know how it's funny how people realize if you see that this thing is there, it's for free. You know how some people don't actually understand its value if it's free. Like it's free. I'm not going. Whereas you know you have to sweat a little bit, get something out of pocket for it. It feels like I'm doing something serious. I would say, if you look, parents, students, high school, college, you've heard her speak right there. This is somebody who knows what she's talking about. And that's the reason why I wanted her to come on here. And so you don't just fall through the cracks, go waste a bunch of whatever little bit of money that you do have, or funds or loans, busy there going off in the wrong direction and having after a full, I don't know how many years of paying for that tuition,
Yeah.
not having to do a redirect
Yeah.
to come back to where you should have been from the beginning, had you known how and when to start. The recurring thing that she has said that I've been emphasizing every chance I got to is about starting early, just like with anything, any kind of position, job, even just training of any of our children about teaching them ethics, morals and stuff. You don't wait for the kid to be 16, then you say, no, you need to say please and thank you. Yeah. It's telling them that in kindergarten for a reason. Yeah. So by the time you get to a certain point, it's almost a reflex. Yeah. You know, you can read a text right here and answer comprehension questions. You know, there's some, you put a text in front of them, bam, the highlighter comes out. Exactly. That to highlight. They're reading through the thing, because you know they have this big, horrible, thick books. I see all of that you have to read and go and comb through. Where are you going to find articles? So and so. You know, so you go. You need to prepare. The case is coming up tomorrow. The trial is so and so day. If you don't know how to look for what's important and find it, and you know, post-it notes here and all that kind of stuff, just get used to that kind of thing. It's to work that well. So these are the things that you get yourself done. And because these things are timed, why do they time the test? Because there's going to also be a deadline when you actually do the actual profession. Exactly. You can't just sit there, they give you 2 years to prepare for this thing. Absolutely not. Right. So with the time that you have done, and that's what's going to make the success between one person and another one, they are able to go, find, and put a thought or something together, as opposed to, yes, of course, if you give me 3 years, I may finally come up with one argument that may help me with that case. Even I who said that, I tell the kids, hey, because I put the thing, and then it says, I'm not able to turn in my work. I said, yes, because the thing has locked. You know, we're doing it on platforms now that just locked. It was due 11:59. You tried to turn it in at 12:02. It's late. Exactly. Start learning now that that's what's going to happen. It will lock you out and you cannot do it after that. So try to follow those little things, get yourself, it's a whole work ethic. It's a whole way mindset. It's a whole way of doing things, which will become second nature to you the sooner you start, so that you can do the thing. So are you, is the person who's done any smarter than you are? Maybe not quite, but you can work smart. Yes. In addition to being smart. Yes. So and the smart worker will typically go further than the person that's just smart. Bingo, bingo. Yeah. That's what I see. That's what I tell them. Yeah. It's there. They're teaching you those stories in fables, the tortoise and the hare. Yeah. Here's the little, what we call Rocky. He took his own, I mean, he was so steady, but going with the plan. And you are like, a plan, like you said, a plan, and everything. You work smart like that, plan everything out, space yourself out, and everything, and keep watching that clock, not just sit down there, and it helps. So I just thank you for doing what you do, and I can only encourage people who do, and I hope other people who do this same thing for other professions will come up and say, here's how it works. These are the little tips that are not really written in any book as such. Yeah, it's not part of the legal jargon that you see there. It is just little tips. The same way somebody who's been married a number of years can tell a younger person, says, see, here's how it goes. They may not be in a book as such there, but it's just the kind of wisdom, little tips and things that help somebody with that profession. So you're sitting there at home, your child says that's what they want to be, they're passionate about being an attorney. Now you know where to go look. Can you say the website again so they know where to go? Yes, it's thestudenttoattorneyplan.com. Thestudenttoattorneyplan.com. Go on there, check it out. Yeah. And I hope we are able to see. Next time what should happen is we'll like to share and see some of your success stories that have come on that have actually done all of this, coming back to join you on the panel here to see. Okay. But that testimonials, I think I saw 1 or 2 there on your website. Say, oh, thank God for, go read them. So don't take my word for it. Go read what real people have posted there. their
Yeah.
opinion, like these are reviews and
Yeah.
ratings, what they say there about thank God for her. She helped me
Oh.
through, wouldn't have made it through without that. I did my little bit of my homework.
Yes, I
And
appreciate
I went and looked, I went and peeked to see, so I make
Yeah.
sure that I actually got
I
the
appreciate
real
that. I
deal.
appreciate that.
The real
Yeah.
deal there. So
Yeah.
those people are saying, so trust me, they're not feeling. In this
Yeah.
country, you don't write anything that you want to say there, because people will come and actually say, they speak their minds. Just
Yeah.
go and see other little websites. They say this was, oh, this store is the most horrible store, customer service, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So this is not the kind of place where you can bribe anybody into saying something that they don't want to
No.
say. Trust me. So when you see people saying that and leaving those statements there, that's
Yeah.
because they truly went and got way more than their money's worth. So
Yeah.
we're not just telling this for telling sake. Go do this, go do yourself a favor. So I'll give you the last word. What's the closing word from you?
Thank you. Well, my closing word is going to be one of thanks to you for allowing me to come on your platform and just really reach the demographic that, of course, I'm most passionate about. I'm open to helping any student that takes the initiative and any student that wants to walk this path. But being a Cameroonian myself, it's a group that's close to my heart. So anything that I can do to help whoever wants to come up behind me, I'm more than willing. And I hope that everyone listening, if you are interested in being an attorney or you know someone who has
those dreams and
book a
aspirations,
coaching session with me, book a coaching session with me, just reach out to me. My email is on the website and I'm the one that actually responds, and just let's go from there. I just really want to help make everyone's path as smooth as possible. That's really my end goal.
In that case, I'm going to end up with the last word, which has to be thank you right back again. Which has to be thank you right back again. I'm busy with that because the people who don't do it, who just feel threatened, strangely, who feel that, who make a whole mystery and kind of mystique out of what they do, and not willing to share their secrets or their tips. I don't know. I cannot for the life of me understand why. Because somebody might help you on your way there, you don't want to turn around and do the same thing. So I applaud you, and we've told them, go for it if that's what you want to do. That's thank you so very much. All right now, so ladies and gentlemen, we are closing the show for today. I hope it's been a blessing to somebody. I know always, because every time this happens, somebody always calls and says, can I have that number back again? And it's going to end up being on YouTube if you missed the audio version on the radio. So you can always go back, rewind, listen to it again. I will be taking this to my class. It's going to sit down on YouTube. My classes. Somebody says, hey, you say you want to be an attorney? I have just the video for you.
Yeah.
I have just the website for you. Go listen and be encouraged. Yes. So thank you and God bless you. Bye for now.
Bye.